And a special thank you to our sponsor, Bristol County Savings Bank, who have been with us for a number of months on our small business seminar series, and we're most grateful. We also have our chair of small business here this morning, Kurt Nelson, so it's a pleasure to see Kurt as well. Our speaker today is Todd Filley, who is the owner of SouthCoast Marketing Group. Todd holds a bachelor's degree from BSc, earned an MBA from Clark University, and for many years worked in a mall where he worked as the regional marketing director, overseeing 22 malls from Maine to New Jersey. That's a business that's certainly gone through some transformation, and I'm sure you'll have some comments on that, Todd. Yeah. Todd left the mall industry to pursue a dream of owning his own business, a gourmet dog bakery. There he developed over 50 original, all-natural, healthy, and delicious dog and cat treats. And after opening a second store and establishing 150 wholesale accounts and several successful years, he sold the company and began his consulting business, the SouthCoast Marketing Group. Having worked with many industries and growing their businesses, Todd has gained invaluable knowledge to provide expert consulting for client business needs. Also a certified webmaster, he has designed and developed over 285 websites. Todd's specialties include all aspects of marketing and business development, product launch, distribution and placement, web design and creation for content management, and social media expert. Please join me in welcoming Todd Filley. Thank you very much. There will be, I assume that there will be many questions. Please put those questions into the chat. That allows us not to get sidetracked, and we will make sure that your questions get asked. So thank you once again to Todd Filley. Part 2 of our marketing for small business will be held on Tuesday, March 14th, and will focus on social media. Please register for that on our website at onesouthcoast.com. And again, thank you to our sponsor, Bristol County Savings Bank. And I now leave you in Todd Filley's capable hands.
Thank you very much, Rick. And thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to share my screen now so we can jump right in. Everyone see that okay? All right, perfect. So we're here to talk about small business marketing. There's a lot that goes into marketing. As you all know, you're business owners, you're involved in business every day. Without marketing, you wouldn't have a business. You wouldn't exist. So we'll go through a couple key points. Obviously, it's a shorter window. We only have an hour here to go through things. So we'll kind of condense it down as much as we can. We'll start off with branding, how important effective branding is for your company, what it means for you, what actually branding is, and how important your brand needs to be to represent your company, your culture, and your business. Then we'll talk about digital marketing, the big elephant in the room when it comes to marketing. That includes your website, search engine optimization, online advertising, social media. So we'll kind of go through a little bit of that. We'll touch upon that. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions when we go through that. Google business profiles. How important is it to register your business with Google? We'll get into that. Traditional advertising. We'll talk about what traditional advertising is versus today's world where 90% of it is all digital advertising, and the importance of still having traditional advertising mixed with your digital advertising. And then we'll talk about networking and referral partners. How important it is to network to grow your business naturally and basically for free. Let's jump in. What is small business marketing? So in the definition here, small business marketing is creating a campaign for your small business to generate interest in consumer base. It involves using traditional and modern techniques to develop a marketing campaign. It involves Google business profiles, search engine optimization, email marketing, advertising, direct mail marketing, online advertising, email, influencer marketing, and of course, grassroots guerrilla marketing. In a nutshell, how many people do that every single day? Hit all those points every day. I'm sure everybody does. No, come on. We all have time to do that. So the big question everybody has when you get into marketing, especially as a business owner, how do I budget? How much do I need to spend on marketing? It's always a big question. The general rule of thumb is if you know you predicted what your annual revenue would be, we recommend, and the Small Business Association agrees, it's 8% of your total revenue for the year should be spent on marketing. Not a big chunk when you think about it. So you'll hear from some of the bigger agencies in the Boston, the New York world will tell you need to spend 20 to 25%. It's false. You don't need to spend that much. If it's done right, 8% of your total revenues for the year on marketing, you can really get a lot of bang for your buck. And you do it the right way, we target the right way. And we'll go over that today to show you a little bit as to how to do that and do it the right way and cost effectively. So, okay, getting to branding. So branding, 8 in 10 buyers want to know the story of the brands they buy from, the who, the when, and the why. And believe it or not, it's true for your brand too. Your brand has a unique story, that competitive advantage. Even in a boring business to business market, your brand has to stand out. And that's where you really want it to stick. I mean, you see the picture we have here, some of the major brands we've seen in the world: McDonald's, Burger King, Coca-Cola, Google, CNN, Adidas, Harley Davidson. As soon as you see those images and those logos of that brand, you know who it is, you know what it stands for, and you know why they did it, which is great. And there's a lot of stories with them too. For example, if you took the FedEx, how it has the arrow in the E and the X, that comes back and it tells people we're here right away. Amazon has the A to Z with an arrow that goes underneath it that tells you they carry everything from A to Z. So a lot of times you can do a story with your logo, but you don't necessarily have to. As long as your logo, this is the big part, is you need to make sure you put it on everything and everywhere. So that means your business cards, your emails, your website, your social media, envelopes, letterheads, any place, everywhere, branded material that you might wear, banners, anything you have. So when you're designing your brand and your logo, you have to take into a few things in consideration. You need to make sure that wherever it's going to go, it's going to transfer over and transfer over well. So if you design a logo with 35 colors in it, that's never going to embroider well. It's never going to go into vinyl well, because it's going to be too busy and too muddled, and it's going to look sloppy. And a lot of printing companies and embroidery companies will tell you that right off the bat. Keep it simple. Keep it no more than 3 to 4 colors if you can, at max. And don't get too tricky with cursive fonts and different things that are going to interlap with each other, that now when it's transferred over becomes hard to read. So you think about, if you have a logo with your brand image that's out there, A, does it represent your company? Does it tell who you are, what you do? Can people figure it out right away? And C, why? What are you about? Why is it that you do what you do? Your logo should convey all of those, but also step back and take the mile view from it. Picture your logo up on a billboard. Can you decipher? Can you read it? Can you see it? Does it make sense? So those kind of things have to come into play when we start to talk about a brand. So a brand is just a lot of story that goes into it, and it has to convey that in a simple, quick image right away. But you also want it to convey what your company is and your culture and who you are. So when you're designing this, there's a couple things that have to come into play. Like we talked about already, is the company, the services, all the elements that come into it, what your mission statement is, all builds into your brand. You really need to know. And people, like we have in here, confuse logos, slogans, and other recognizable marks owned by companies with their brands. Yes, your logo is part of your brand, but they are different from each other. Your logo represents your brand. Does that make sense to everybody? I don't want to confuse people when we're saying this. A lot of people think when they see a logo, that's my branding. That's what it is. There has to be a lot more involved in it. So your color schemes, different things like that, all come into play when you start to create your brand. And again, it goes back to, where are you putting all of this information out? If it's going to be on your website, your color scheme now needs to be consistent throughout as your brand colors. If you're doing presentations all the time, the font you've chosen for your brand needs to represent throughout your presentation. Whatever that font is put in all the documents you use. Same thing for anything on a website, though, that font should carry over so that it's consistent throughout everywhere. The color scheme, whatever it is you've chosen, should blend and be the same all the way through everywhere you go. Should always match together, and it keeps your brand consistent. So some of the things to do when you're creating your brand is to help to know your customer. You have to know what your company is, who you are, and why, but then know your customer too as well. Are they going to recognize and represent your brand? Are they going to work with you in your brand? Does it tie together? So those are the kind of things we have to really kind of look at. So again, what is your brand? Does it represent you, your company, and your culture? So now we'll get into digital marketing, the big part of everything we do. So with digital marketing, almost everybody now uses it for mobile. 62% need to have a mobile-friendly website. You think about it, you're at a restaurant, you want to look up something real quick, you pull out your phone. Nobody's really pulling out a tablet anymore. That's not happening anymore, so the most part. You don't see many people sitting in a restaurant all of a sudden pull out their iPad and start looking through things. They look on their phone. And everybody wants to look at a video. 82% of people will watch a video that's been online, whether it's on social media, on YouTube. Case in point, we're putting this presentation on YouTube right afterwards. People will go that missed it, will go to YouTube to watch it. People will watch videos. You think about when you're scrolling through social media, you stop and you see a video, you want to see what it is. A reel that's in social media is all a video. People watch it, they want to see what it is. Same goes for your website. If you have an informative video that's out there, People will watch. Put it in an email. People will watch. It's big. And then 70% of searches online are all done on a smartphone. So if you're not present in the digital world, you're getting lost. People are skipping by. They don't know you exist. They're going to miss you. And now the new one we have is voice search. How many people have picked up their phone or talked to the, I can't say it because mine will go off, the little device you have and it starts with an A from Amazon, that if you would say, hey, find a plumber near me, find a marketing agency, find a builder, find a carpenter, all those things now are voice search, and you can do that. It's a beautiful thing to have, and it's very cost effective to do for businesses to get into that. So the technology has grown tremendously. As we've said, in 29 years, this stuff never existed. It was never, ever there. I mean, we had traditional direct mail, newspaper, radio, and television, and now it's unbelievable what we can do. So what is digital marketing? I think everybody here knows what it is. We're in marketing. I mean, everyone's been around. We have an internet. You've gotten on a Zoom today, so you understand a little bit about digital marketing already, the communication. So it's all about being online. It's vital for your business. It's vital for brand awareness. It seems like every other brand has a website, and if they don't, they have social media or they have a digital ad presence, meaning they're on Google My Business. They're out there. They're advertising. It's all online. It's the only way to be found truly in every aspect that's out there. And it's so common. Consumers now expect that's how they're going to find out about a business. They're going to find out about a service. They're going to find about your product, what it is. Think about it. You're going out looking for furniture. What do? You put in looking for a coastal themed sofa set, something like that. You put it in Google. Now that spits back all the furniture stores in your area that may have it, or in online stores that will have that. If you're not doing that, if you have a furniture store and you haven't done an online presence, no one knows you exist. They've missed you. They've skipped you. They could have driven by your brick and mortar store 70 times, didn't know what you were because they didn't see you online. It's the way of the world. Unfortunately, it's the way we've come. So there's a lot of possibilities. Get creative, experiment with a variety of marketing tactics, all within that small budget you can create. So the benefits of digital marketing: focus on the efforts only prospects most likely to purchase your product or service. So what does that mean? So if we were to do Google advertising, or even social media advertising, you can literally pinpoint down to the exact demographic that you want to see your specific ad, which is beautiful. You're not wasting money to go to the masses and kind of throwing out that fishing net and hoping we're going to catch the big fish that's going to be in that net when we pull it in. No, you can target it through your advertising campaigns directly to where you want to go. And this is where the difference between traditional advertising and digital advertising comes into play. Traditional advertising, you put an ad in the newspaper, on the radio, everyone sees it, everybody hears it. They may or may not be a client. They may not be a customer. With digital advertising, you can truly specify who that person is, the specific demographic, their interests, their online habits, everything that they do, as well as what we call geofencing, which is a certain parameter where we can say, we only want this ad to appear within this range, whether it's a zip code, whether it's a specific street area kind of thing, IP address area, we can nail that down specifically through that. Again, with that, we can also do what's called retargeted marketing. So say you've gone online, you've looked for a kayak. Now, every time you go back online for the next 14 days, every time you turn your computer on, an ad for a kayak pops up constantly. It's haunting you. It's like reminding you, hey, you looked at kayaks. We want you to buy a kayak. Come look at my kayak. I have a kayak over here. There's a red one over here. There's a blue one. There's a red one. Come buy my kayak. Over and over and over. That's called retargeted marketing. It can get annoying, no doubt about it. As a marketer, we love it because now you're really driving that message home. Repetition is key, but it also does convert to conversions and sales, which is a beautiful thing. So it does get people to know what you have, how to do it. And again, that's all through digital advertising that you can't do through traditional advertising. And it's much more cost effective. Say a newspaper ad might cost you $1,500. You could run a Facebook ad campaign for $100 and get 5 times the results minimally of what you'd get on a newspaper ad. So it makes a lot of sense. So if you spend on a Facebook ad, for example, it might cost you 33 cents per click versus the newspaper ad that cost you $1,500, and you don't know if anybody ever went to your website from that. You hope they did, but you don't know. So it evens the playing field within the industry. So now you can also see what the other guys are doing. Case in point, we have a furniture store we market for in Middleborough. Small little guy, been around a long time, but he ranks higher now than Jordan's and Raymore and Flanagan. He's up there. He's killing it as far as the campaigns and how he's marketing to people. So when you do it the right way, you can really pinpoint those people you're looking for specifically for what it is. You're not just throwing it out to the masses, so you can really compete with the big guys. And it's truly measurable. You can look through all of your marketing analytics. Everything else will tell you how many clicks you had, where they came from, how long they were there. They came to your website, what pages they went to, how long they were at each page. Did they fill out a contact form? Did they call you? What did they look at? Which allows you as a marketing person to go back and take a look at that information and market back to the masses. So for example, sorbet frozen treats, if they came in as a certain flavor, a certain dish they were looking for, and you saw that that was a big click through all the time on an ad you had run, that there was a big response to that, maybe that's now something you want to look at, and that's something you want to feature in a marketing campaign. That had a great result for you. It was a perfect example of, here it is in digital marketing. This is the results we've got. Now, hey, I need to take that and really highlight that and push that a little bit more. And that'll convert to more sales and more leads. And it's very easy to adapt and change marketing strategies when you go digital. It's literally a push of a button, change a few words, change some demographic information, hit send, and it goes live, usually within a minute or two. It's pretty active, which is really, really neat. So with that, you can improve your conversion rates, the quality of your lead that's coming in, and engage with the audience at all stages that they're coming through. You can see what's happening. So it makes a lot of sense to be digital. So here, I won't read this whole thing. It basically goes through the process of the internet. As we all know, in the last 50 years, it has changed ridiculously. No company, even a local cafe, should be without, at the very least, a website with the details as location, hours, point of access for everyone who shares the internet first when they want to make a buying decision. So we'll tell people a lot of times here, you don't necessarily need a full-blown website. Some businesses just don't need it. They need what's called a landing page. It's a simple one page. Who are you? Where are you? How do I get in touch with you? And maybe what products do you have? That's all you really need to get by to start out with in small business. If you're really just cash strapped, you spent a lot of money on a brick and mortar to get everything done, all your fixtures, your materials, everything. And you look at the whole thing and you say, well, you know what, Todd, 8% is really a lot of money for me right now compared to what I have. And we understand that and we get that. So for a simple landing page, that can get you by. It gets you that web presence that you need so people can find you. And it makes it that much easier for you as well. From that, allows you to grow, allows your revenue to grow. And then we talk about a website further down the road after that, that really can highlight everything you need. So social media presence, absolutely a must. Doesn't cost you anything to be on social media, just to set up a page and do that. And we're talking about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you're brave enough, if you trust China, Snapchat, YouTube, and Twitter. And again, these all depend on the type of business you have. So we don't recommend all social media platforms for all businesses. Some businesses strictly should only be on LinkedIn. That's where they belong. That's where they are. That's where their bread and butter is going to come from and their leads are going to come from. Other businesses, you know what? You truly are a TikTok, Instagram business. That's all you should be on. Everything else doesn't make sense for you. So take a look again, going back to your demographics as to who are they? Where do they live? What services do they use from you? What do you do for services? What products do you have? Does it make sense to be to everyone and everyone, a be all and do all? Typically not, usually. Sometimes it does, but take a good look at that before you get into social media. So you've probably heard the term CMS. If you've ever, somebody's talked to you about a website, you need a CMS, contact management system. We build here at SouthCoast Marketing Group in WordPress. It's the most user-friendly, the easiest one for search engines to find, easiest for blogging, and for an end user like yourselves to be able to train and show you. If you can do an email, we can teach you how to use WordPress and update your website as time goes on. Wix is another one that's similar like that. The downfall with Wix, it doesn't allow you to do the best SEO work that you would need to be found on the internet. You can build a great looking site and it's easy, a lot of drag and drop, and newbies can easily figure it out. But as far as when it comes to search engine optimization, it doesn't play well with Google. So that's a downfall to that. Joomla and Drupal, those are more for the experienced web people that are out there. If you've had any experience with it, by all means, you know what you're doing. If you don't even begin to try. You'll pull your hair out and be balder than Rick. So you don't want to do that. So search engine optimization. I'm sure everybody's heard SEO skills and what SEO is. But what is SEO? Basically, you're telling Google, Yahoo, and Bing what your website is. All of these search providers have what they call robots who will scan your website. You go onto Google and you type in, I want to find campgrounds near me. Well, guess what? Your website has to have those words in their campgrounds. It comes through, the robots are scouring within a nanosecond of your website. You have that keyword that that person typed in, your site's going to appear in that search. It's going to result back up to it. If you don't have that, you're going to get skipped over. The robot won't find you. It misses you. How many people here have seen the movie Field of Dreams? The saying in Field of Dreams is, if you build it, they will come. Not true in the world of digital marketing. You can build a website. It can look phenomenal. It can look great. If you haven't loaded it up with keywords about what it is and what people are going to be looking for to find you, you're going to be skipped over. The same comes with this now with called title tags and alt tags. What that is every image you have on your site, people need to be able to mouse over it and know what it is. But it also helps in a Google search. So if you had a picture of a campground with a 4-person golf cart in front of it, and somebody types in looking for a 4-person golf cart to go camping, the image you had on your website, because you have that descriptive text with it, will now show up in a Google search as well. So people find that picture, number one. Number two, when they click on it, it opens your website. So you may be a win-win all the way around, which is a beautiful thing. Search engine advertising, basically online pay-per-click. So this is either social media advertising or traditional Google, Yahoo, Bing advertising. All the ads you see that are on there. They always appear, your sponsored ads will show up first when someone does a Google search, and then you see organic listing. So this is where we work with clients where we have, if you have a small budget for online advertising, you've done some SEO work, your ad will appear here, and then your online listing will appear right below it. So if you've seen that before, you'll see an ad, say maybe Cardi's Furniture has 2 or 3 sponsored ads below it here, and then right below it, Cardi's Furniture is going to have 4 or 5 different listings for organic listings that showed up, and that's SEO. So here is your search engine advertising. Here's your search engine optimization right below each other. And that's really where you want to be. You want to, if you're going to do both, you want to be stacked on top of each other. So you basically own page 1 of Google, which is where it needs to be. And then email marketing campaign. I'm sure everybody here gets emails all the time. Chamber sends them out all the time and says, hey, we have a seminar. We're doing this. We're doing that. And it's where you let people know who you are, what you are, and how to get involved with you. For content marketing, usually basically promote your brand explicitly without promoting product or service. Examples on company websites, a blog, an article discusses a topic, or how the company relates to it, works with people. So you'll see different things all the time that come out, and generally always ends with, if you need help, contact us today or something, or if you're looking for something special, reach out to us. Click here for more information. Certain call to actions that are always there in content marketing. When you do content marketing, it has to be, again, tied with your brand, has to make sure that it flows with what your brand is. It all ties together. Social media marketing, and this will be great for the next seminar. We'll really get into this in the next one, but we all know what social media advertisements are. You see them, some are great, some are not so great, some mislead you into a certain thing. You always want to be on the up and up and do the right thing. If your brand is there and your awareness, people know who you are, you're going to get clicks. People will come to see you. People will want to see you. You want to have your brand that engages, exposes you, and generates interests. You want people to be involved with you all the time. So anything you're posting, you want people to be excited to see what you've done on social media. They want to follow you. They want to be captivated by what's happening, and give them a reason to come see you, to buy your product, to reach out to you. And that's where social media becomes a great tool for every business that's out there. Search engine optimization, we just talked about basically what it is in Google search rankings, how you're going to come up. And then email marketing. This is a big number right here. Predicted that more than 4.5 billion people will have an email address by 2025. It's only 2 years away. 4.5 billion people. It's a staggering amount of numbers that are there, that if you collect email addresses, which you should, any business out here now, you should have a sign-up form on a website, join our newsletter. Even if you haven't done a newsletter, collect that information. If they're members and they come into your facility or whatever it might be, collect that information. Ask them and make sure that they're okay receiving emails from you. There's a checkbox for that. You don't want to be spamming people or be accused of spamming anybody. You want to make sure that they've approved and allowed you to send an email. But it's a great way to stay in touch with your clients, your customers. Let them know what's happening. Maybe it's Monday night dinner for 2. You want to let them know, hey, every Monday night we have this great dinner for 2. Here's our menu options. Here's what we have going on. Or a last minute promotion you want to do for the weekend. Hey, it's going to be 65 degrees this Saturday. Come on in and get a frozen treat from us this weekend. You know, warm up, spring is on the way. Come on out. Reach out to people, and you can do that very cost effectively, I should say. And it's extremely effective to get people to click through. Again, comes back to your website or to your social media to follow you, to engage with you, and become clients and customers. Network, network, network. And I know Katie and Rick will agree with this 100%. Go to a local networking event. It is down and dirty the most cost-effective way to grow your business. Get a stack of business cards. Have a digital QR business card on your phone. Get out, meet people, talk to people. Practice your 60-second elevator pitch. What is my business? What do I do? Get out there and introduce yourself. Meet other people. The idea of networking is to how to grow your business, but also help other people grow their business. So you start interacting with each other and you suddenly find out, hey, I didn't know Kirk did that. That's great. He can help me do this. You know what? I have somebody that Kirk could use as well. Boom. Now you start building referral partners, which is great. Doesn't cost you anything. Your time. That's all it costs you. The best advice, and I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but you should, when you go to a networking event, get out there, meet some contacts, and when you get home, reach out to them. Hey, draft a letter, come up with a standard response if you wanted to, which is fine, that you can use after you go to networking events and say, hey, great to meet you. It was great to talk about XYZ that we talked about today. Let's get together for coffee and discuss it a little bit more. Let's see how we can work together. It's a great way to do it. As I was telling Katie last week, I teach up at BU and I take second semester seniors and we go to a networking event in Boston that's thousands of people every year. It's insane. I mean, it's overwhelming when you walk in. It's a lot different than any networking events around here. And you do walk in and it's all of a sudden you see 1,000 people staring in the face and you're like, what do I do? Everybody turns to a deer in headlights. It's the best way for these students to get out and start to introduce themselves and get used to the business life and the business world of what's there. And I'm not saying go out and put yourself into that situation because it can be very overwhelming and scary. Go with somebody you know, partner up with somebody, meet somebody from the chamber here, and go when you go in. There's ambassadors for chambers that will work with you and kind of guide you around to people, which is the best way to do it. You don't have to be afraid. No one's going to bite you. Honest. Well, Rick might, but that's a different story because he's hungry. He hasn't had breakfast. So, but definitely get out, try and network. You don't have to do every event in the world. And there's people that try to get to every single and every networking event that's out there, which makes me wonder, how do they even run their business? Don't do that. Don't be that person, but get out to enough events that people are going to know who you are and they're going to be comfortable to refer you business. And likewise, one hand washes the other. It works well. So definitely network, network, network. I put some images up here. Obviously, One South Coast Chamber is a big one. BNI, I'm sure some people have heard of it. Networking Group USA and the South Coast Business Association. So there's a lot of opportunities right in our own backyard. There's also the Young Professionals Network Group I forgot to put up here as well. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. So we've got a whole list of different things when it comes to marketing and business. Google Business Profile. We didn't really touch upon that. That's a free opportunity for you. So you go to googlemybusiness.com, claim your business. You type in your business name. If you haven't claimed it yet, I recommend everybody do that today as soon as we end this call. googlemybusiness.com. Claim your business name. There you'll put in all of your business information, your hours, your location, your phone number, pictures, promotions, anything you have going on. From there, people are allowed to leave you reviews. You get your Google reviews. The best thing I can tell you is to take the time and monitor your reviews. Respond to each and every single one that's there. Because with that, it also helps with your Google ranking as well. Even though you may not have a website, you may not have a whole lot of digital presence yet, this is the best way to introduce yourself to the digital world on Google My Business. All of your information is there. Case in point is, think about, you get all excited, you're going to go out Friday night for dinner, you've looked up this great Italian restaurant, I want to go there, it's awesome, great, perfect, I looked at their hours, it's awesome. I went on Google My Business, saw who they are, let's go, pick up your date, you get to the restaurant, sign on the door says closed for a company party. Like, I didn't know. I had no idea they were closed. It says online that they're open. This is where it's important to maintain your Google My Business as a business owner. The downfall of having something like that happen to you can be staggering, because now the reviews will come in, people start talking nasty about your business, and it can spiral out of control very, very quickly, especially if that's done on Yelp. It can easily go through my cousin's sister's grandmother's brother's father heard from somebody about this restaurant that was closed on Friday night and shouldn't have been. And now that just goes, and that person has no clue. They might live in Oklahoma and they were going to a restaurant in Fairhaven. They have no idea. So online reviews can be tough, but you also want to address each and every single one of them, good, bad, and different. We have a client who literally will go on. He kind of has a standard thing saying, hey, thank you so much for responding to us. I know we're not perfect. We always strive to do the best we can. We appreciate any feedback you can provide to us and help us out, which is a big thing. You always want to at least admit the pros that you've done great, but admit your mistakes. Show that you're human. Open that side of things. People respond better to that and seeing that if you can at least say, hey, you know, we made a mistake. We screwed up. We're sorry. It happens. Unfortunately, we're addressing what happened. We're going to make changes and make it better. Then it shows the human side of things. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you today is get on Google My Business today, create your profile if you haven't, claim your listing. Sometimes Google may want to give you a phone call to verify you are, or they'll send you a postcard in the mail. Certain things takes a few days, not a big deal, but make sure you do it. That's the best advice I can tell you from today. Second, get a website, at the least a landing page. Start with some small basic SEO. Start a blog. If you do a WordPress site, it's easy to blog. It's considered a blogging website. And a blog doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be 2 paragraphs. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. Just talk about what you do. Show people you're the expert in your field. Show them who you are, what you do, and why they need to buy from you and come to see you. Share your content, put it on social media, put it in an email, let people know who you are, what you're doing. If you can afford it, do some Google advertising, get you out there. Create your listing on multiple directories. So again, with Google My Business, you can get out there and you want to make sure that your listing is live on all different things that are there. Optimize your listings again, make sure your hours are right, your days of the week and everything that jives. Your address is the same all the way across the board. Your phone number matches everywhere. If it doesn't, it's going to conflict on the internet and it can really hurt your business as far as Google listings go. Online customer reviews, again, through Google My Business. You can do them through social media as well. You can gain reviews through social media. Monitor and review. If you're on social media, prioritize your Facebook, connect and contribute to LinkedIn, publish videos to YouTube if you've done some videos, advertise on YouTube if you can afford it, engage your audience on Instagram, share on Twitter, give Pinterest a chance, try TikTok if you're brave enough. Kind of fun sometimes, but be careful. Join online communities. So by that, we talk about, especially in the world of Facebook, there's a lot of now town community pages that make a lot of sense. Get involved in those. Get out there, get your name out there, get your business out there. The free advertising, free word of mouth referrals will really build easily for you when you start to do that. Collaborate with an influencer. Maybe there's a local celebrity who's come to your restaurant, your business, your store, whatever it might be. Hey, ask them to do a quick little video for you. Put it out there. It goes a long way because now if that person has 5 million followers, they post something about your business, you're going to have 5 million followers, which is pretty neat. Advertise on social media if you can. Another one, go back to traditional advertising. Seek out the local press. They're always hungry for stories. Reach out to the newspaper, radio, anybody there. Hey, I'm opening this up or I'm introducing this new product. We have this great new service. We've just relocated. We're over here. Things like that really will get the press going. They're looking for something to do. They always want a good feel-good story. They're tired of the negative, nasty stuff that's out there every day. We all are, actually, I think. So it's good to get a good feel-good story to really just reach out to them, and especially in the business things. You could even just say a promotion, somebody in the company now, hey, this is now our new VP of marketing. Great. Put it out there, put a little bio with the person. It gets picked up and it gets run. And it's a great way to advertise for nothing. Form some partnerships. Reach out, believe it or not, the saying from The Godfather, keep your enemies close. This is where you want to make sure, you want to be friends with your competitors. You want to know what they're doing. They know what you're doing. You know what they're doing. But you can also partner with a complementary business. So say you're a florist and maybe you want to partner with the candy guy down the street. So now flowers and candy go together. So your ice cream and the taco truck is down the street. Well, let's talk about, hey, you got a taco and then you came over and got some ice cream. Let's work together to try and make a partnership. Maybe we can create some type of deal and some synergy between us. Network, network, network. I don't want to beat a dead horse on that one. Join the chamber if you haven't joined the chamber. Get involved in networking groups. Get your business out there. Get your person out there. Let people know who you are. Again, attend local and sponsored events. Direct mail. If you can afford it, direct mail is a great way to do it. And you can do, especially now through the post office, you can do every door direct mail where you can literally target specific streets and addresses that you want people to see your business. You can send a postcard to them and it could be very, very cost effective to do it that way. You can expect just businesses only, or you can do residents and businesses or residents only. And you can choose how many you want to send, which is a beautiful thing. Offline advertising, again, going back to newspaper, radio, magazines, and we've got some great publications around here that you can get into. SouthCoast Almanac is a great one that comes out every quarter, very fairly inexpensive to do that. You have SoCo magazine that comes out every month. There's a lot of opportunities for different things to get your things and advertising out there. Trade shows, if that makes sense for your business and your product, get a booth. The colleges all the time will have different trade shows that come up. And high schools will have different shows, home shows, garden shows, things like that come up. If it makes sense for your business, it's a very cost and effective way to do it. Get out there, send emails. Again, go back to an email campaign and really push through all your information that you have over and over again. Very inexpensive to join. A Constant Contact, for example, I think it's $60 a month to become a member of Constant Contact and send up to 5,000 emails. Very easy way to do it. Simple to do. Creates a great bond with you and your customers. And then get employee advocates. Have your employees love your business, promote your business, talk about your business, love where you work. And that's what you ultimately want from all your employees is they're now going to be great referral partners for you. They're going to go out and tell everybody, hey, you know, I work here. This is what I do. I work at Boca Restaurant and this is what happens for me. And then, you know, I love going into work every day and hey, we have this on the special tonight. This is coming out. You got to come out this weekend and try this and do that. Get your employees to be advocates for your business. So now we'll go up to questions because I don't want to take up too much time here from everybody.
This is really good stuff, Todd, and thank you very, very much. And it's a lot all at once. It's a little bit like drinking out of a fire hose. One of the things that I would recommend to folks is that they go back and also watch this on the YouTube channel, find the things that you missed. But there are several questions in the chat that I wanted to run by you. One of the things that you constantly hear during uncertain economic times is that a company needs to market more, not less. But marketing budgets are usually the first things cut when companies reduce expenses. How do you work within the mindset of the company to say, no, this is still the thing that we need to do? What's your big arguments?
The big arguments, yeah. So that case in point, that came up a lot during COVID. Everybody said, you know, what do I need to do? And at that point, everybody needed to go digital because they realized everybody's sitting at home, they're on their phones, they're on a computer. What do we do? For very small money, you could maybe stop doing traditional advertising if you can't afford a newspaper ad or a radio ad and things like that. Maybe you're spending $1,500 a month on radio, $1,500 a month on newspaper and print ads. Take that money instead, cut that down to maybe say $1,000, put it towards digital advertising and get a bigger bang for your buck and really segment into who you want to see your ad and how you want to reach those people. There's ways to work that budget to make it work for you. You don't have to, and by all means, never stop marketing. You can scale back and you can scale up at any point in time, but never stop. And that's the beauty with digital marketing. You could set a budget with Google or Facebook or Instagram or anybody like that and say, hey, I'm going to spend 500 here, 500 here. And you see something maybe isn't working on one platform or one channel, but the other one is really eating up your budget and it's working great. Shift that money over. Transfer it over and say, okay, for Facebook, I had $500, but maybe I want to spend 200. I'm going to put that other 300 towards Google Ads. And that's easy to do. And it can be done in a quick click of a button.
One of the things about email marketing, and we've seen this, I've seen this a lot just on, I get 90% of my emails on my phone. I think like most people do, except when I happen to be sitting at my desk. Email marketing, I know works, but there is a point where it's overused for folks, where you start destroying your own open rate by virtue of the sheer volume of what you're sending or the lack of compelling information. So is there kind of a magic number of times in a week, depending on the business, of course, where you're actually hurting yourself rather than helping yourself?
Yeah, our magic number we've actually come out with that seems to work the best for the most open rates is 1 time per week and schedule it for the same day, pretty much the same time. So say, for example, if you're a realtor, Thursdays at 2 o'clock. That's when your email comes out. People now know your email's coming at every Thursday at 2 o'clock. It's coming out that time. It's not repetitively over. Restaurants, same thing, depending on what it is, any specials they have. If it's like a dinner for 2 promotion kind of thing they have, do it the day of. It makes a lot of sense. People are thinking, they're not going to think if I get a dinner for 2 on Monday night, I'm going to send it on Friday. It's going to be forgotten, it's wasted, and you didn't do anything with it. So you really want to look at what it is, have a compelling call to action right away. The subject line has to stand out. There's got to be a reason for somebody to open that email. It has to be there. And then the information that's inside has to be compelling, captivating, and again, have a call to action. that's there. Just to put an informative, hey, we're doing this, we've moved, we're doing this, blah, blah, blah. Not come see us this Saturday, we're having a grand reopening, we're going to have a 25% off special or anything like that. If you don't do any of that, you miss the boat. So, and you run the risk of people unsubscribing because they think it's boring and they have too many other emails that are coming in their inbox, and that's one less thing they have to read and open.
Exactly. And that actually goes along with our instincts as well. When it comes to geofencing, you obviously have to know your own market extraordinarily well if you're going to be limiting who is receiving your stuff. So how do you do that base work of knowing your own market well enough to know where to geofence?
If you've been in business long enough, so geofencing becomes a little tricky sometimes. So if you've been in business long enough, you should have a good database of where your customers are coming from to you, whether it's through sales, through credit card and zip code information, things like that, or just generally talking to your public. The flip side of that is if you only want to market to, say, within 5 to 10 miles of your business location, and that's all you think people are going to drive from to come see you, and that's what your business is. Maybe you're in the service industry and you don't want to get out of the Tri-Town area. You want Marion, Mattapoisett, and Rochester, and that's all you want. We would geofence for just that. They don't want anybody in Wareham. They don't want anybody in Fairhaven or New Bedford. So we fence it to just be in that Tri-Town community to see what it is. So there's flip sides to both of it. Ideally, if you've been in business a little bit and you happen to know where your customer base is from, that's where it really pertains and really comes into play. But again, there's both sides to it, how you could do it.
I'm going to ask, this is obviously a chamber related question, but when you're a generic business organization like we are, we have everything from mom and pop to the largest employers in the region. When we're designing our marketing campaign, are we better off trying to do some market segmentation and target specific brands, types of companies first and separately, or are we better just marketing ourselves as that generic thing?
No, you should break it down into both. A little bit of both. You want the generic umbrella that's out there in general, because that's going to hit maybe the small ones that you forgot about and didn't know they existed. So you want to make sure you're inclusive of everybody. You're not excluding anybody. But at the same time, especially now where you're into a membership drive campaign, you want to segment out and look for, let's target the restaurants, let's target the boutiques, let's target the furniture stores, let's go after the shoe guys that are out there. Really break it down into multiple campaigns and you're going to get a better result.
And that's actually, as we've done our strategic planning, not that everybody in the world needs to care about this, but as we've done our strategic planning, that's one of the things that surfaced, is that we don't do enough market segmentation within the generic quality that is a Chamber of Commerce. So it's something that we need to address as well.
And it's a good way to measure too, Rick, for your growth, as to where certain aspects and segments are growing. Where is there a need? Is there more of a need for this? What are our members looking for? Have we heard multiple times people, I really wish we had more plumbers, or I wish we had more service industry guys. I wish we had more whatever. That's a great way to look at it and say, okay, well, let's go after them, let them know who we are and how we can help them. We can be advocates for them and really help grow their businesses as well.
Absolutely. Mike O'Sullivan talked about a question about geofencing for recruitment. That's pretty much along the same lines of what we've been discussing. When we're looking to grow our membership, we obviously would like, we're recruiting every kind of business possible.
Yep.
And we need to do that also to some degree in a segmented way.
Correct. Yep.
And I was actually referring on that one to a business using, like a regular business, recruiting their help, recruiting their.
Okay. So staff recruiting.
So
My
staff,
apologies.
okay. And that's a big one we actually deal with now a lot of times now, especially in the service industry. No one can get help. Everybody's looking for it. So traditionally it was always within 15 to 20 minutes of their location, as they figured their employees would come from. That's now expanded up to an hour away. People are going to drive. So we're looking at that mile radius and where we're going to geofence out to target, especially in the Boston market. We're doing a lot of that for the restaurants and service industry in Boston market, to say, how far out do you think people are going to commute in? Where are they going to come from? But within that as well, we break that down in the Boston market into the certain cities and demographics that are in it. So we'll pick Southie, we'll pick Dorchester, we'll pick the North End, and really focus specifically on those for people that can get there. And then look at public transportation. Where does that get them to that location? Can they get there through public transportation if they don't have their own vehicles? How does that work? So there's a lot involved when you get into as far as hiring personnel to do that. you really have a lot of deep diving that has to go on, but it's doable. It's absolutely doable.
Yeah, that makes sense because as you said, recruiting people is the #1 challenge most people have today.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Todd, there was a question from Monica in here that said, is there anything to look out for, any advice you have on utilizing discount coupon sites like Groupon?
It depends. It really depends on what your business is, if it makes sense for you. So with Groupon,
In this case, a business to consumer desserts business.
okay. So then in that case, as long as you're willing and able to support that, and you have your exclusions that are in there, you have your deadlines that people have to use that Groupon by, it can make a lot of sense for you because it's another opportunity for you to get exposure on the web, which is good. So somebody searching for frozen dessert treats kind of thing, and they go to Groupon, you're going to come up on the list. So you're going to compete against the big guys. You're going to go against Dairy Queens. You're going to go against the guys that are out there with the bigger chains that are out for ice cream facilities that are there. And that's what you want. You want to be that little guy that can go head to head with the big guy. And that's what we kind of talked about. You can be very competitive digitally with the bigger names that are out there on a very small budget. It doesn't cost you a whole lot to do Groupon. Ultimately, a little bit there, percentage goes back to them, and you're discounting at your own restaurant, but it should be enough markup that you're okay with that.
That's excellent. We've hit the end of our questions. Todd, I know that some of these people would love perhaps to do a follow-up with you. I see you have your contact information on the screen. I, for one, would like to do some follow-up for you as we look at tourism marketing in this area. So let's hope that you and I can get together within the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, I want to thank Bristol County Savings Bank for sponsoring our small business series. Thank you all for attending. I think this was absolutely fascinating. But as I'd mentioned, it's a little bit of drinking water out of a fire hose. So please go back to YouTube, go back to our YouTube channel where this will be posted, and we'll also be putting it out in our emails as well. Thank you, Todd, very, very much. This was highly informative. And on behalf of the Chamber, Mike O'Sullivan, Kurt Nelson, our small business chair, thank you again.
Thank you. And again,
Thank you very much, Todd.
Please feel free to reach out. Anything question-wise, I'll be more than happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.